I took the job because no one else wanted it. A closed store. Night shifts only. They told me it was easy money. Just sit there. Watch the cameras. Make sure no one breaks in. What they didn't tell me was that sometimes the cameras would show someone already inside. And every night after that, it felt like whatever was on those screens was slowly becoming aware of me. I'm telling this now because I don't work there anymore. And because I don't think I was ever alone in that building. I never planned on working night shifts. I had just moved to the city. New place. New start. And not enough money. That's how I found the listing. No company name. No logo. Just a short post on a local job board. Night security. Closed retail store. Minimal work. Good pay. That alone should have been a red flag. But I ignored it. I emailed the number listed. They replied within 10 minutes. No interview. No background check. Just an address and a start date. That should have been the second red flag. The store used to be a convenience mart. One of those places open 24 hours, tucked between empty warehouses and forgotten streets. It shut down 2 years earlier. No explanation. No reopening plans. When I arrived on my first night, the parking lot was empty. Not abandoned empty. Dead empty. The kind of empty where sound doesn't travel right. The manager met me outside. Middle-aged. Tired eyes. Didn't give me his full name. He handed me a key. The doors lock from the outside at midnight, he said. You don't open them for anyone. Ever. I asked why. He paused. Just don't. Inside, the store smelled old. Not rotten. Just stale. Shelves were still there, mostly empty. Some signs hadn't been taken down. Sale. Open 24 hours. A life frozen in plastic. The security room was in the back. 1 chair. 1 desk. 8 camera feeds on a single monitor. No restroom breaks after midnight, he said. Use it now. That felt strange. Why? I asked. Another pause. You'll see. He left at 11:58 p.m. At exactly midnight, I heard the locks engage. Heavy. Final. I was alone. The first hour was nothing. Just screens. Silent aisles. Dust floating through dead air. I told myself this was easy money. Then, at 1:17 a.m., camera 4 flickered. Just for a second. When it came back, I saw something that made me sit up straight. A shadow. Near the beverage aisle. It didn't move. I leaned closer to the screen. The store doors were locked. I had watched them lock. No alarms. No broken glass. I switched to camera 2. Nothing. Camera 3. Empty. Back to camera 4. The shadow was still there. And then it shifted. Not walking. Not running. Just adjusting. Like it knew it was being watched. I stood up. Walked to the aisle. Nothing there. I checked the floor. No footprints. No signs of movement. When I returned to the security room, camera 4 was normal again. Empty. I told myself it was a lighting glitch. I stayed seated. Didn't move much after that. At 2:40 a.m., it happened again. Different camera. Different aisle. Same kind of shadow. But this time, it was closer to the camera. And this time, I could tell it wasn't a trick of the light. Because the shadow had shape. Shoulders. A head. And it was facing directly into the lens. Pause. I remember thinking one thing very clearly. Whatever that was. It knew where the cameras were. I didn't tell anyone about the shadow that first night. Not the manager. Not my friends. Not even myself. I finished the shift sitting completely still, eyes locked on the monitors, afraid that if I moved, I'd miss something important. Or worse. At 6 a.m., the locks disengaged automatically. The manager showed up 10 minutes later. He didn't ask how my first night went. He just took the key and nodded. See you tomorrow, he said. Like nothing unusual had ever happened there. The second night felt different before it even started. The building was quieter. Not less noisy. Just quieter. Like it was holding its breath. I brought coffee this time. Didn't help. At 12:03 a.m., all 8 camera feeds came on at once. Too clean. Too clear. I checked the time stamp. Synced perfectly. That hadn't happened the night before. Around 1:30 a.m., I noticed something small. Camera 5. The same aisle as last night. The shelves looked disturbed. Not knocked over. Just slightly misaligned. Like someone had brushed past them carefully. I rewound the footage. Nothing. I rewound it again. Still nothing. Then I slowed it down. Frame by frame. And that's when I saw it. For exactly one frame. A shape. Not fully there. Like a person halfway erased. Standing too close to the camera. I leaned back in my chair and laughed under my breath. A nervous sound. The kind you make when you don't want to panic yet. I told myself I was tired. I told myself cameras glitch all the time. That's when my phone buzzed. A text message. From Emily. She was the only person who knew I'd taken this job. You okay? I stared at the message longer than I should have. Yeah. Just bored, I typed back. A lie. She replied almost immediately. That place still feels wrong to me. I frowned. She had only seen the store once. During the day. From the outside. What do you mean? I asked. There was a pause. Then. I don't know. Just, promise you won't ignore it if something feels off. I didn't respond. Because at that exact moment, every camera feed went dark. All at once. The room felt smaller without the screens. Too quiet. I stood up and walked toward the main floor. The emergency lights were still on. Dim. Red. The aisle stretched longer than they should have. I called out. My voice didn't travel far. I went back to the security room and slammed the desk. The monitors flickered back on. Every feed restored. Except one. Camera 7. The one pointed directly at the security room door. That feed was active. And on it. I saw myself. Standing inside. Looking at the monitors. From behind. But I hadn't turned around. I froze. My reflection on the screen didn't move either. We stayed like that for several seconds. Then. The figure on the monitor tilted its head. Slowly. Like it was studying something. Studying me. I spun around. The room was empty. When I looked back at the screen, camera 7 was normal again. Just an empty doorway. No reflection. No me. By the third week, the store had a rhythm. Not a normal one. A pattern. The shadows stopped appearing randomly. They showed up at the same times every night. 1:17 a.m. 2:40 a.m. 3:12 a.m. Always closer. Always clearer. Always watching. Emily stopped liking this job before I stopped liking her. She said I sounded different on the phone. Quieter. Distracted. Once, she asked me if I was drinking. I wasn't. I just didn't sleep anymore. I started recording the camera footage on my phone. Not officially. Just, in case. But every time I checked later, the files were corrupted. Except one. A still frame from camera 4. The shadow was visible. Clearer than before. And behind it. Written faintly on the glass of the aisle cooler. My name. Not scratched. Not painted. Pressed. Like a fingerprint dragged slowly across the surface. I confronted the manager the next morning. Asked him why the store really closed. He stared at me for a long time before answering. People complained, he said. About what? He hesitated. Being watched. That night, Emily came with me. She refused to stay in the car. Said she needed to see it herself. The cameras didn't activate right away. At 12:41 a.m., every screen turned on. And every shadow appeared at once. Not walking. Not moving. Just standing. Facing the security room. Emily squeezed my arm. Then she whispered. They're not looking at the cameras. She swallowed. They're looking at you. At 3:12 a.m., the feeds changed. Instead of live footage, they showed recordings. From the future. I saw myself opening the security room door. I saw myself walking into the aisle. I saw myself standing where the shadow had been. Emily grabbed my phone. She was crying. Because on the final feed, she wasn't there. I was alone. The footage ended with one last frame. Me. Standing perfectly still. Facing the camera. smiling. I quit the next morning. Never went back. The manager didn't argue. Didn't even seem surprised. 2 weeks later, Emily left. She said I wasn't the same person anymore. She was right. Last night, I woke up at exactly 3:12 a.m. My bedroom felt observed. I checked my phone. There was a new video file. No sender. No timestamp. Just one frame. A security camera view. Of my bedroom. And in the corner. A shadow. Facing the lens. Facing me.